News Unpeeled, brought to you by 3dprint.com. Today, we've got color mixing with up to 20 different filaments for around $400, right? Mango, the clothing retailer, is invested in a 3D printing startup. Find out why later on. And also, well, let's look at 3D printing underwater. So the first thing is the ChromaSet. So this is a clipper, non-clipper based multi-filament 3D printing set, essentially, that you can buy. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's been backed so far by about 1,000 people at the time of making this video. It's got the Chroma Pad, which is a kind of control system. You can control multiple printers with it. There's a Chroma Head, and the CX1 extruders. It allows for movement speeds up to 300 millimeters per second, which is really high for a filament mixing solution. There's a specialized filament cutting head, and the company says essentially that that it hopes that you can, not only 3D print different colors, but also be able to print stuff like PET, TPU, and the regular PLA, ABS type of systems. There's a Fetus 3D derived chroma hardened, even. It's a direct drive high flow direct drive system, and and essentially there's extra extruders as well to increase the number of extruders that you would need for that as well. The company says that in total, if you're using all the units, you could print up to 20 different filaments, which could be quite amazing. And that's on Kickstarter right now. I don't know if this will work. This seems like a really complicated tool to be able to make. We'll see. There's a couple $100,000 that they've collected so far, so maybe we'll hear of some people experimenting with this in a couple of months. So, but I love the fact that somebody's thinking about selling to this aftermarket. There are now several million people that have a Prusa-derived desktop 3D printer, and that's a market. Those are several million people that have that thing sitting around. Maybe it's been replaced or supplanted by different newer printers, or maybe they're using one for their daily printer and the other one's kind of sitting there. And you could do stuff with that. So I love the idea of people, for example, coming up with a syringe head, right, to extrude battery paste and toothpaste and anything that's a paste, right? I love the idea of just being able to offer that kit to people to say, hey, for a couple of $100, you can upgrade your existing printer, do something new. Somehow, this hasn't been going on. People have been sharing files like this. People are making kits like this, and there's companies like Bomb Tech and stuff like that do this. But still, I think this is a underappreciated, underreported kind of thing generally. So it's about $300, and the other set is about $400. And it seems like a quite affordable solution. We don't know if it'll work, but I think it's it could be a very valuable thing. The next thing seems silly, and initially it seems really, really, really silly. So this is a CPSdrone, which kind of website, and it's a YouTube channel, and they've made a 3D printer that can work underwater. Now, at first, it looks like somebody did a fun project on YouTube to get some views and some engagement and stuff like that. They essentially hardened the printer. They put the electronics in an airtight enclosure, like essentially like Tupperware. They put a bunch of plastic parts, epoxy sealing on stuff, and they made this thing to a certain extent work in an aquarium and later on in a swimming pool. This is fun. I think it's a fun project. I think it's a crazy project. And it seems like it's only that. But if you think about it, actually, this is a really valuable thing, right? Think about we're all talking about 3D printing on ships and in forward operating areas in the military, but also in very humid areas and very kind of wet kind of areas with a lot of rainfall, like the jungle and stuff like this, and surveillance areas. A really waterproof or near waterproof 3D printer would be a very valuable thing to have. Think about on a mine or a jungle encampment or a military kind of near trench kind of forward operating area. All of that would really benefit from having a printer that's weather sealed and that is able to withstand moisture and rain and people tracking in all sorts of moisture and water in that environment. But then also we're talking about people wanting to 3D print spare parts aboard ships, on board oil platforms, aboard energy stations in the ocean, like a wind wind collection, wind farms and things like that. All these guys would benefit from kind of a waterproof or near waterproof weather sealed type 3D printer. So I don't think this is like an idle kind of fun YouTube thing at all. I think this is actually something that people should be doing as a commercial enterprise. And the interesting thing about this is, would you make a completely redesigned printer from scratch, Or would you say, hey, we can take whatever printer you have, as long as it's Prusa i3 or whatever, and we can weather seal it for you as a service? I think it's a wonderful thing. And I think if you're really going to think about this, everybody's always talking about the military or people in austere environments, even like poor people and stuff like that, printing. Well, if you have to deal with a lot of environments where a lot of people are in that are really hardened and wet and stuff like that, well, just your average 3D printer is not going to work. The electronics are going to fry. The thing's going to die. So I think this is a wonderful thing. And I think this is so congratulations to the CPSdrone guys doing this. I think it's a wonderful project, and I think it could have very much could have legs into some future printer developments. The next news is from Ziknes. It's Ziknes. I don't know how you would pronounce that. I was a bit unsure, to be honest. It's a Spanish startup that develops kind of the tooling and software for robotic 3D printing for polymer, cement, and metal. So interestingly, these guys are not specialized. There's a bunch of people that are specialized either in cement or either in polymers or either in metal or different types of metal. And these guys are just saying we're going to tackle all three of these large format robot 3D printing technologies. We're going to collaborate with people making the tool heads. We're going to collaborate with the robot manufacturers, and we're going to deliver this solution, let's say. So that company has now got an investment from Mango Startup Studio. This is a kind of startup venturing arm, if you will, of Mango, which is a large clothing retailer. Now they're going to work together on like a convertible loan first off, and then later on make some Mango furniture and stuff like this. Now, this may seem just like a venturing thing, but I think it could be really very valuable to Mango. Think about it. Mango has 2,600 stores worldwide. Every couple of months, every season at least, they have to completely redo their store interiors. This is a huge cost for them. Environmentally, it's quite a cost as well. Well, what if they could use 3D printing for, I don't know, the fixtures or certain landscape elements or certain kind of large scale elements that they could then put pictures or other project things onto. And then afterwards, end of life, they could just grind these up or send them back to Spain, grind them up, and then turn them into new ones. This would really save a lot of money, and it would also, be much more environmentally sustainable. So I think there's something there that really makes this a very valuable kind of thing. Like think of not only window displays, but also furniture in the store, 3D printed store elements. Maybe kind of new types of displaying wares, like instead of just hanging things up, you could have some little mountain thing in the store to kind of show off little new clothes and things like that. So I think this could be very valuable. Where you're seeing a lot of retailers from Dior to to Echo Alf and all these other retailers experiment with 3D printed interiors and 3D printed stores themselves, made with wasp and the ceramics 3D printing. And so this could be a very valuable thing for the retail landscape and allow Mango to differentiate itself in a very sustainable way. So I think, this could very well have legs as well. My name is Joris Peels, and this is another edition of 3D Printing News Unpeeled. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.